Alright, there we go. Hey, what's up, TTV? Alright, we got three in the stream and 1 like so far. Good start. Did I just end up picking? Yep, I did. Let's try that again. There we go. Did it not do it again? Oh, there we go. Okay. There. So the polls pretty much said that Alien Syndrome on the NES was gonna be the game we were playing tonight. It was actually pretty close. For a while, Uninvited was leading the numbers there, and then all of a sudden they just tied, and then next thing you know, Alien Syndrome won. So that's what Cutie Bat and I are playing for you tonight. Oh, we have actually, TTV. We went by too quick in my opinion. How you holding up out there? Keep seeing your posts about picketing and everything. I still can't believe they haven't reached a good decision for you guys yet. Alright. Hey, what's up, William? Appreciate that. And you know, the irony of that is Zombie Nation is a game I still need. Okay, we got one more. Alright. Here's a gun for you. So this game is basically an Aliens clone, in the sense that we're on a mission to save all of our teammates from this race of aliens mixed up of or made up of a different variety of design, and there's a time bomb present on each ship. We have to find our comrades, rescue them, and then we have to destroy the boss before the time bomb goes off, or else we all go. And this is actually an arcade port of the same name. Oh geez, TTV, that stinks. I hope they reach some conclusion soon, because this is bogus. I know out here we had a bus strike not too long ago, and that really hurt a lot of us, because we had to use Ubers almost every day. And it took them a while to reach negotiations too. So we got about 2 left. Alright, 1 left. Where haven't we looked? I did a few times back in the day, back when Sega was like the king of the arcades. It was one that I didn't see in a lot of places, but one particular arcade that was at the shopping center my mom worked at, they had it. And you can actually get a copy of that, I believe, on one of the Arcade Classic sets. I'm just trying to remember which system it was on. And you can also get the direct sequel, Alien Storm, on Sega Genesis, and I believe it's also in the Genesis collection on the Switch. Okay, we need to find the other guy because we're running out of time. Now there is a map that you can... Okay, so looks like... should be right here. Whoa! Come on, he's over here. How do we get up there? Oh, there we go. Alright, now we gotta get to the exit. I just hope we have enough time, because I don't know if we are. Aw, I ran right into that. Alright. So yeah, there's about 8, maybe 9 ships. Each one has... Whoa! Each one has a boss on it, just like this. Oh. What the heck? Well, that was easy for him. Oh, no worries, John. Not a problem at all. I definitely enjoyed your stream tonight, too, so I appreciate you coming in. You wanna go again?
Sure.
Alright. Gotta love that cinematic. Alright, let's get back to it. Guys, if you haven't checked out and subscribed to John Intrigue Gaming's channel, please be sure to send him some support. Check out his videos, his live streams. He does game reviews. He's got some really good content, so show him some of our zombie love over there. Actually just finished watching a playthrough of the new Ghostbusters game on his channel. It's pretty sick. I'm still debating whether or not I want the PlayStation or the Switch version though. Bless you. You know, in space nobody can hear you sneeze. Just saying. Nah, I wouldn't say that, John. It was still pretty enjoyable. I don't think it derailed at all. Yep, sure is. I think it's more of a remake than anything. Because it looks very similar. And I'm stuck in the gate. Yeah, when you guys can, definitely try to make his live streams. They're always so fun to watch. And John's real good about playing the game and actually chatting with us. So it's one of the live streams that I like because it's fully interactive. Awesome, William, thank you. Yeah, John's a good guy. He makes a lot of really good, high-quality content. And what's funny is he was at Game On, And for the longest time, I couldn't place him. I'm like, I know I've seen him from somewhere, and it didn't dawn on me until I started talking to Joel from Media Glitch, and I was like, that's who that is. I would have introduced myself, too. You guys had the whole crew there. That was pretty cool. Nah, man, I don't think you do. Ghostbusters is pretty tough. And those Sonic hacks were pretty hilarious too to watch. We just played this level. You'd think we would have memorized where all the prisoners were.
You would think.
But apparently we're not doing that. Whoa. I want a cool flamethrower like that. But I guess since you're supposed to be the Ripley character, it makes sense you have that. Alright, let's see where we're at. Oh. We missed the guy at the very corner. That's awesome. There he is. He's like, hello! Be a pal and unhook me from this. Alright. Whoa! Alright, he's gonna turn into a head now. Whoa! Stay there. Flamethrower is usually a good weapon, but the distance on it stinks. Wow, he took off with a quickness too. He's like, I'm out! Oh, it's all good, John. It's all good. I was actually gonna try to talk to you and Saramaru and the rest of the group. I don't know. I guess you guys were always like so busy, and I didn't want to go up to you guys and mistake you all, but I knew I had seen you guys before. What an interesting comment to make. I'm over here being sentimental, and you're like, that's a vagina.
It's definitely. Those are definitely.
See, that I could handle. I could handle you just being like, yeah, those are xenomorphs, but you just straight up threw that out there, didn't you? Those are vagina. And that's not even the worst part of it either. Like, if you play through, I believe, Contra and Super C, they have aliens that look more like that. Yeah, I'll remember that next time you guys visit Game On again, or if I should happen to be at a convention y'all are at. I'm just that type of person, though. Anytime that I have a chance to meet some of the people I watch on YouTube, I do get nervous. Because I don't want to be that guy, you know? And when I was talking to Joel at the restaurant that night, I was like, I knew I recognized them. Whoa, whoa. And I'm stuck on the wall.
How many lives do you get?
I think you get 2. Maybe 3. I need a better gun. I want that flamethrower you had. Ugh, this is even worse.
that with the L beams?
Yeah, they're all different letters for weapons. Like F is the fireball, L is the laser, W is actually the warp, so they'll put you in a random spot on the ship. And I forget what's the one that you had. You know what, John? Yes, we have. And as much of a messed up sense of humor I have, even that movie was kind of cringing. He brought up BBC teeth.
Oh.
Who was it that told us about that movie anyway? Or did we just happen to be on Netflix one day and we're like, oh, what's this?
I mean, I knew about that movie because of YouTube when it came out. I don't remember anybody. It was I've seen it way before I met you.
I don't know if that's a backhanded compliment or not. Well, you're old, Jess.
Oh, so F is flamethrower.
So FB's gotta be fireball, yeah. Oh, I knew that before I met you and the internet. I know. Or the twos in this case. You know, when I was pre-med, we actually talked about whether or not that was an urban legend or if it was actually true. So the fact that somebody made a movie out of it is no surprise in this day and age. This is not cool. I need to get close. Oh. Oh, that wasn't cool. Dude, get away. What the heck is going on? I got two of these things on me. Yeah, but I didn't die in the previous level. There, you got what you wanted.
No, it's not. I wonder how many lives we have.
There we go. I died less than you. What can I tell you?
Oh, you get to start over at round 2?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
This game can be very generous more than any other port. The Sega Master System port, I don't even remember if it lets you continue. I think it's just one straight playthrough and then that's it. See, I died right there. Because now every time I see that, I see vagina, thanks to you.
What the fuck?
You know, my mind was clear. My mind was pure before you said that.
Yeah, your mind was pure before me, I get it.
No, I just brought up that instance. I know my mind was tainted prior to me meeting you.
Tainted.
Yes, tainted. And now I can't look at this game ever again the same. Dude, William, that is such a plan right now. I would welcome something flame-grilled right now.
I keep shooting the thing and then it kills me.
Huh. I need a better gun. How about a better gun?
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, that's so admirable of you, man. I respect that a lot. You know, if I could get away with it, I would love to stream that movie, but that ain't gonna happen. I wonder if somebody, when they were writing that movie, was like, here's a good way to get back at men. We're just gonna film this Story of innocence and purity. Wait, what happened? You know, this isn't how it's supposed to play
I
out.
don't even know what I'm doing.
Ripley is supposed to stay alive, not me. Yep, she's right here. Yeah, this is the only version of Alien Syndrome that's actually multiplayer. The Sega Master System, though graphically better, didn't support two-player. And I believe the Amiga or one of the other computer platforms it was on didn't have two-player either. So it was either this or it was you had the arcade, practically. And that's actually surprising considering that, one, Sega made this game, and this is actually published by Tengen. So how they were able to not only get the two-player version to work, but got the rights to distribute it for a while just baffles me. That's not to say that the Master System port isn't bad just because it's not two-player. I mean, the Double Dragon port on NES is only one-player story mode anyway. And the Master System port is two-player. Doesn't make that, you know, a bad game by any means. But any game that had multiplayer, I definitely was more of a fan of. Alright, time to lose to this ugly pink thing. Because I can't get in close to hit it. Because he's got his little minions blocking it. There we go. Whoa! Ah! Screw it, I'm just gonna go up. Ah. Well, we have the missing component to the floor vagina. That thing.
The floor vagina and the not floor vagina.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a better weapon to use against it because it's...
Alright, so where were the enemies?
Yes.
Mother shit. I shoot them, and they look like they're gonna die, so I walk forward, and they're not dead. They just kill me.
Pretty much. Hashtag gaming in the 80s. Is the audio coming in pretty good? Like, can you hear the game music and can you hear us? Whoa. It's actually no surprise that a lot of the aliens look phallic, because in the arcade version, where the graphics are definitely upped, a lot of things look pretty phallic in that. It's like they were going for... like, grotesque, but then also sexual innuendo, too. Laser again. Alright, cool. Oh, hey, Lumi. Welcome. Wow. Awesome. I'm trying to keep it as as clear sounding as I possibly can until I get internet or a laptop mic. Illumi, if you're wondering, we're playing Alien Syndrome on the NES. This was voted on my Twitter page by the people who follow me, and it was a poll that I had set up for a few hours. It was between this port, the Sega Master System port, and Uninvited for the NES. Now, I was actually surprised by how the votes turned out, because this and Uninvited were tied for the longest time. I don't know if there's a lot of Sega Master System fans out there, honestly. Oh, no worries, John. I'd be eating right now too, but I don't want to make food noises on the on the mic. So you enjoy yourself, and appreciate the lurking too. Don't make that noise. It's contagious. We've got a show to do. What's wrong with you? Millions of people are watching. Actually, 6 are watching, but that's still fine with me. You know, I love it when you say that, Illumi, because part of why I enjoy streaming is showing off games that either people have never seen before or have and haven't seen in a long time. And me being a fan of the Alien series, this game hits close to home. Although I'm a bigger fan of the Sega Master System port, because that's the one I grew up with before I got the NES version. Hey Rez, welcome. Yeah, it's a pretty good looking game. If there's any time, what I think I might do is play a little bit of the Master System version just to compare the two and see what you all think. The reason why this port gets high points for me though is because it's multiplayer, and my girlfriend Cutie Bat is playing with me, but unfortunately she's dead right now, so hopefully I can either clear the boss or I'll die too, and then we'll reunite and be resurrected. Hashtag space lovers. And you just missed a very interesting discussion we had about how this pit right here looks like vagina. Okay, where is my guy? There he is. Right below me. Why is it I say vagina and Retro Ryan pops in? Oh, I shouldn't have looked at the...
Yeah.
It's all good though. In space there is no Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook.
In space there is no messaging.
I'm not messaging anybody. I'm updating my apps.
In space there's no updating apps. Fine, next time I won't go for that.
What?
Nothing. Can we save our comrades now?
Yeah, I clicked continue. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't think it works for me.
Yeah, it probably doesn't.
Player 2.
Yeah, don't be so surprised by that, Illumi, because a moment ago I mentioned how the arcade port, the arcade port with its higher graphics and colors and everything, a lot of the aliens look very phallic looking.
I hate the sound this thing makes. It's like I've got a ping pong, a thing that shoots ping pongs. Balls.
Balls.
It's like a pop gun.
Wait, your gun or mine?
The one I had before. It shoots little balls.
Oh, the regular gun?
Yeah. And it goes pop.
Boop, boop, boop. I don't think you want this one, Rez. If you've ever seen the movie Teeth, like we were just discussing, yeah, I don't think you want that.
Excuse me. Rude. You made me die because you got me stuck in the door.
Who?
The game itself.
I was gonna say, why are you yelling at me? I didn't say go through the gate.
I'm not yelling at you. The game itself got me stuck in the door.
Yeah, they do. Just like the ones in Contra and a few other games. But that's what happens when everybody tries to capitalize on the success of Alien.
Look. Just wants to hold me there until I get shot by those alien bombs.
Kinda makes sense. This is their ship. I don't think they're gonna give us that much of an advantage. Every weapon has such a short range on it. It stinks. I'm gonna check. Who do we need?
All the way at the top, basically.
Okay. I wish what could happen is I took one half of the screen and you took the other and we could like break apart. But we're talking NES capability here. Not gonna happen. There he is. Alright, and then the other ones were over here. Okay. You know, on the bright side though, at least these prisoners aren't like cocooned and being face hugged like in the Alien movies. I may not be alone when I say this, but I think that's the worst way to die. In a movie, let alone in real life. I'd rather burn than have to go through that. I used the map and he's right there. Okay, come on, let go of the map. Alright.
Might actually make it to the boss this time.
Let's go! I also like how in the arcade, the computer's like, the time bomb is set. You want to focus on the little flying mouth things, and I'll try to get close. Oh!
No,
Dang it.
no.
How about you turn around, dude, and not aim in the corner? I'm just saying. Whoa. Watch out. Oh.
Lord.
Oh, no problem, William. You go ahead and enjoy yourself. Did it let us continue, or was that it?
I guess that's it.
So we had only like 3 continues?
I guess.
Oh, brother.
I don't know. I've never played this game.
Do you want to go again or no?
Sure.
Look how badass they look right there with their flesh-colored guns. And I love how the box art on this game makes it look so freaking cool. Even that little cinema is like, nah, we're badasses. Ricky. Yeah, they have like very specific weak spots on them.
one. Oh.
Well, let's just get our weapons, get our dudes, and then we can get out. We do move a little bit slower in this version than we do on, like, say, the Master System one. They move pretty quick on that. But another advantage that the NES has over the Master System port, when you die in the Master System one, you have to go through the whole, like, level start over again. This one actually just lets you pick up where you left off. Otherwise, every boss fight we die at, we'd have to go through the whole, you know, time bomb is set, make it to the exit, and then actually have to get there. Of course, they're all right there. So I just say we leave the one by the exit and then we'll just wrap around.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but what I try to do when I run through this game is I try to do it in a way that I don't waste time backtracking because of the fact that we do have the timer.
Well, we literally walked by it, so it wouldn't catch us.
Yeah. Stuck in the purple shrimp.
That's what they look like.
It's like they've been dipped in that purple ketchup. Yeah, the designs of the aliens get more and more bizarre. Whoa. Watch out, head time. Oh! Got him. Let's go! I love how I take off running and you're just like, I'll get there. Rescue 12 comrades. Oh, I don't have a gun? What the heck? That's lame. Okay.
Oh, shit.
I wish we got grenades. Might make this a bit easier, actually. Mine sounds like an old-fashioned phone ringing.
B. Just cursed a bunch and then he said some of the B.
I know. Either you have a filter on or you don't. And at this point, you've already violated that. I'm trying to keep this user-friendly. Even though we just had a full-blown conversation about what those things in the floor look like.
You didn't want the flamethrower?
No, I'm gonna try the laser and see if that's better. Because sometimes it is better to have a specific weapon, like in the Master System. version, the fireball is a lot better because it's bigger. So it gives you more range when you hit it, but then also the laser is better because it fires faster. So I guess it's just a matter of personal preference, and then of course if the bosses give us any indication as to what they're weaker to. Hey, what's up, Cliff? This is Alien Syndrome on the NES. And it's a port from an arcade game of the same name. Although the arcade game was made by Sega, this one was published by Tengen. But there is a Sega Master System port of it too, and I may show a little bit of that towards the end of the stream. But right now, Cutie Bat and I are focusing on this port because on my Twitter, that's what everybody voted for. Alright, whoa!
Oh.
So the game went from Aliens to Predator because the dude is the only one alive now. Remember where the other prisoner is. Oh, that's easy. Come on, off the map. Yeah, also there's a direct sequel on the Genesis called Alien Storm. It's possible you could have played that one too. That one's also on the Sega Genesis collection for the Switch. There we go. Oh, this is gonna stink. Oh, I ran right into that.
Do you have to shoot him in the mouth? Because last time I don't think it did.
No, I happened to be close to his mouth, and that's why I was shooting him there. Because before, I was shooting him from the top. I was hoping Romance was going to be in the stream tonight too, because he plays this game on the NES as well, and one of his controller reviews, he actually featured the game in it. You know, John, I don't really notice a difference. I think the only time I feel like it is difficult, one player versus two player, is the boss fights. And the boss fights on this port work a bit differently than the Sega Master one. These ones seem like they're faster to kill, but they definitely attack in a pattern that's way different than the Master System versions do. Because I know there are some games that when you play them two-player, they up the difficulty, quite a bit. This one, I don't think it really changes that much, except for when you have to do the boss fights at the end. Because not only is the range on these weapons shorter in this version, the fact that we have to be so up close to them, and there's very specific weak points that they have, definitely makes it more challenging. But each version has its own ups and downs. I'm just glad we don't have like a friendly fire option, because man, we'd be in trouble if we did. Did we get all the ones down here? Oh, top corners. Nope. Oh, that's pretty cool. Alright, next one up above. I think if the Sega Master System port had simultaneous two-player as opposed to alternative or alternating two-player, it probably would have been the better port. Alright, let's go. What's the X? Oh, great. I just downgraded my weapon. B for boring. I'm back at my original weapon now. Whoa! Alright, here we go. See, it is their mouth, but you're just hitting it at a different angle now. Back away! Oh, that was close. They also did a remake of this game for the Wii and also PSP, if I remember right. Got him. Hey, round 3. It only took, what, 30 minutes?
Oh, Lord, I can't see anything on this map.
I know, both of you have that mustard yellow going. And we got 4 crabs. Yay, we got crabs.
This controller is pissing me off also.
How are you doing that? Oh! Apparently it fell off the space bridge.
It fell off this bridge.
See, look at that. You outlived me.
For once. It doesn't happen very often. Those little penises floating.
Should I be... Excuse me, should I be sure to include that in the description? Watch us fight space aliens and space genitalia.
That's
No, Cliff. I think it gives us about 3 or 4 continues. I wish it was unlimited, though. This game can be tough. But I think it's a bit more forgiving than the Master System port.
Ah.
See, now this is more like Aliens because you're the one who's alive and I'm dead. Oh. I guess it's safe to say the crabs hurt you. The crabs got you.
My thumb hurts. Look.
What?
The D-pad.
It's a badge of courage right there.
And I get a callus.
Yep. That's how it was like in our war times. We had callous thumbs.
I had a Nintendo.
I know, I'm just saying, remember, we had callous thumbs. There was no save states. There were no DLC back in our day. No. You rented a game for 2 days and you plowed through it. You didn't beat it, you rented it again until you did it. See, retro gamers are elite for that reason. We didn't sit there and say, oh, I'll save it and come back later. Nah, you either turned the system off, went to school, and then came back home and played, or you were one of those who left the system on all day and then came back and picked up. Oh, thanks very much, Cliff. Appreciate it. Yo, where are my little sound effects? That's kind of a bummer. What is going on with those? Well, since he donated, I'm going to go ahead and play what should have happened.
Stars.
No.
What? Hey, we got another donation. Whoa, did I just see that right? Oh my gosh, I'm so computer illiterate. Let's bring it back. Bring it back. Oh, see, you did that, John? Oh, I couldn't. I was too paranoid that my stuff would catch fire and it would burn.
What?
He would leave his system on.
Oh, yeah.
Go to school or go do what you're doing and then come back. I couldn't risk that. I was too paranoid.
My mom would turn mine off.
Yeah, and there's that too.
She'd be like, no, this is a waste of electricity.
See? My mom would just do that out of being cruel. It didn't matter to her that it took me all day to get to World 8-4. She's just like, it's just a game. I don't care.
Do it again.
Exactly. That's how my mom was. Alright, let's get back to it. I'll see if, I think another donation came in, but I can't see it on my screen for some reason. I really need to learn how to use OBS. Alright, let's jump back into it. Now, I know I've said before in other live streams, but I also put this on my stream descriptions. Anything that you guys donate goes back into the show. So I want you guys to know that anything that you guys donate towards helps me get better equipment. And in this case, I'm definitely putting all donations towards getting a mic. So I want to thank all of you who donate, because I want to make sure that I keep giving you guys better and better quality each time, and not only just for the streams but also my videos, my pickup videos. For those of you who don't follow me on Twitter or haven't heard the announcement yet, I'm actually going to take my restoration show ideas and actually start filming those this week. So Gaming Beautician will actually be a real show for you guys to check out. I'll still be making pickup videos, and I'm also in the process of doing playthrough videos as well. I'm just not too sure about that one just yet. So, you know, from the bottom of my heart, all the donations you guys are supporting me with are going back to all the different shows I have planned, so thank you all very much for that. And hopefully next time I stream, I won't sound like I'm in a cave or some kind of weird sound distortion. Because that's another thing I worry about. Those of you who were here when I first started streaming, you all remember it was so bad, video and sound wise. Alright, let me check where we're at. So pretty much all four corners, with the exception of a little island somewhere up here. Awesome, good to know, Cliff. Yeah, I love gaming soundtracks, and I know that Jay doesn't really play the game sounds, and very few streamers do, but I try to incorporate the video game sounds, because not only do I like their scores most of the time, I feel like it enhances the streaming experience. Like, I look at these as, whenever I play something, like, we're all playing this game together, so we all get to relive the experience.
Space bridge.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
So here.
Hey, what's up, Alex? Glad you could join us. Whoa, don't fall. Oh, I'm all alone now.
Got me.
I think I'm alone now. Doesn't seem to be aliens around. I'm in a blue jumpsuit. Have a bowl haircut. What the hell is that? Sorry, my voice is terrible. I am not a singer by any means.
So top left corner and then almost bottom right.
Wait, top left corner?
Yeah, left.
Oh, okay, cool. Cliff, I'm just gonna say crazy. It was pretty crazy. I was in the middle of watching John's stream, and I chimed into Jay's stream, and yeah, things kind of got a little, I want to say a little heated. Nothing too bad, but you know, it was a surprise, I'll say that. And those of you who are just tuning in, if you haven't already, be sure to send some support to John Intrigue Gaming's channel, and that way you can keep up to date on all his really cool streams, his reviews, pickup videos, everything. And John, if you'd like, I can also try and share your Facebook group in here as well. Whoa, I'm gonna burn. Let's do this. I thought you said go to the bottom.
Yeah, that was where the other one was.
Oh, I thought you said go to the bottom, like the exit was down here. now I'm in a hurry to get to the exit. I've got these crabs on me. These phallic purple aliens. Oh, great. Whoa! Get away. Get away. Oh, my pleasure, John. Anything to help out fellow YouTubers is with awesome channels, man. Hashtag gamers supporting gamers. It's one of my mottos I live by. I don't think I'm gonna make it there in time because I can't run fast like Forrest Gump. It's like I'm struggling just to move as it is. Oh.
Get off the bridge.
I know, I'm trying to get to the exit. Y'all don't help me. It didn't look like it connected. Oh, it don't matter. We're all dead. 2, 1. Boom! Kablamo! Yeah, totally fine, John. I don't mind at all. Wait, what?
I don't have anything left. You had to continue apparently.
That doesn't make any sense. It usually continues us both.
I guess unless I've died enough times.
I'm gonna call shenanigans right now. Hey John, do you post the videos to your live streams on your channel at all? Do you save those? Man, we even talked about grilling right now, and I'm all hungry again.
I know.
Ugh.
Did you see that Nick grilled the rest of all that food?
No, I didn't. Did you post that on Facebook?
Yeah, he did.
Aw.
So I guess that's what they eat.
Cool.
Like blue jelly. It's a mistake.
That always throws me off when people say jelly. Like, when everybody says that, like, I'm jelly. My first impulse is to laugh.
I'm peanut butter.
Yeah, or say something smartass like that. Yo,
Hi, jelly.
I'm crunchy PB.
Hi, jelly. I'm peanut butter. I'm also a dad joke, just perpetually relating
I'm a dad joke. Hey, I don't tell those. Yeah, just because I'm a dad, I don't tell dad jokes.
to. Yeah, you do.
No, I do not.
I tell dad jokes.
You tell dad jokes. I leave those to you because you embarrass me with those. It's like, alright, Danny Tanner, take a chill. No, but I know you like puns and silly humor like that. I do too, but my sense of humor is I don't know how to put it without being offensive. My sense of humor is everywhere, except cheesy jokes or puns, unless it's intentional. Oh yeah, Gaming Off the Grid totally is. I try to make their live streams too when I can, but I think the time zone difference really throws me off. I know I really wanted to help out with their donation stream that they were doing, but I don't know if they allow people to do that or if it's just their own thing, which I don't mind either way. I think towards maybe towards the end of October when we're back from Retropalooza, I might do a charity stream for Thanksgiving, possibly Christmas. I haven't planned it out just yet, but I'm thinking about it. I'd like to say Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, but for Cutie Bat and I, it's a lifestyle. So, it's not exactly a holiday that we only celebrate in October. But everybody can keep the pumpkin spice whatever, because I'm not too big into that, but all the gothic decorations and art, that's totally our forte. Stop making that noise.
Every time have to go to bed.
Do you?
I think so. I'm tired.
I'll have to check out Nick's Facebook because, yeah, I want to see what he ended up doing with all that.
Oh,
We actually don't live that far from Nerdy Nick, so we hung out with him this weekend, and he had like this kind of like shish kebab kind of get together. And normally, if it was my get together, I'd be pigging out. I'm not ashamed to admit I'm a big eater, but I didn't want to sit there and keep making skewer after skewer and eating all of his food. And towards the end, I guess he had a lot left over, and then they just decided to make a bunch of like all just different foods at the same time. Oh, I got caught on the bridge, dude! Get off me. Okay, seriously, where is... I need a map. Where's my map? Somebody call Dora the Explorer and give me the map. There we go. Ah. Of course, has to be on the space bridge. I'll be sure to do that, John. Great. Same thing's gonna happen. I don't know where to get to them in time, and we're all just gonna blow up.
yes.
Oh, that's cool.
We just grilled whatever was left, so I think that's...
There we go. We detonated.
That stinks.
See, I kind of wish he had did that yesterday. I'm not gonna lie.
Instead of the kebabs?
Instead of the kebabs.
No. I like the kebabs. I think that was good.
I just felt bad because it seemed like me and what's his name just blinked and I just died. David? Who's the other guy?
The guy with the glasses?
Yeah.
Or the guy with the
guy with the
gray
glasses.
shirt? I don't know his name.
I know he said it, and we've hung out with him before, and I felt bad that I don't remember. We were the only ones who were eating the shrimp.
No, David was in it.
Was he?
Very Super Nintendo shirt?
Yeah. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright guys, I'm gonna actually change ports, so let me go ahead and hook up my Master System real quick, and that way we can take a look at both of them.
Because unlike some people, I gotta work tomorrow.
Oh, don't throw that in my face.
I gotta work tomorrow.
I work 5 days a week, just like you do.
On Saturday.
Yeah, which is worse than Monday.
You didn't work yesterday.
Yeah, I know. And guess who had to use vacation hours? Me. Just for a day off, Missy. She's such a bully, guys.
I'm not a bully.
You are so.
That's me.
How would you know? You're a bully.
I'm not a bully.
Alright. I gotta switch all my systems here real quick. I should have put everything on a splitter now that I think about it. But I actually use all of my original hardware, so I have my childhood NES and Master System right here.
It's true, there's cords everywhere.
She's just saying that to embarrass me. Could you have said it like with more of an annoyance? It's true, there's cords everywhere.
I could have said it like that if you wanted me to.
Yeah, there's like cords
Swada-wada.
everywhere. Pick up your mashugana cords over there.
Sweater
Whatever.
Oh my god, sweater weather.
Oh my god. You are such a lazy bum. You're an ignoramus. Where when you can't find what you're supposed to plug in because there's so many cords around.
Cliff is asking if Jay was getting mad at trolls.
Yeah, he was. And he was also getting a bit mad at Eric and Rufus, actually.
Oh yeah, Nerdy Nick, he's one of the most down-to-earth, coolest guys I've ever met. He's super chill.
He's a total bro. I love it. Like, so I've known a variety of bros just from being in the gym and from some people I knew from school. Nick is like king of the bros in many ways. But he's not ashamed to admit that he's into so much of the same things. Ah, that classic Sega. Alright.
Ow.
You okay?
Yes.
Of course.
I was just trying to put stuff in the pantry.
The pantry.
Alrighty. Good night.
Good night, madam.
Good night. And good luck.
Don't need luck, I got skill. Now go make me a steak.
No. We don't have any.
There's a Walmart down the street,
I'm
24/7.
going to bed. You go get the steaks. I'll grill them in the morning for you.
There's burgers right there. Damn, I tried. Alright. So here's the Master System.
Marshmallows?
No. I need something more nourishing than that. Woman, feed now!
We have sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I don't want to eat one of those raw. It'll take an hour to cook those. Anyway, getting back on track. So, we got the Master System port here. And tell me what you guys think of this one in comparison. If it lets me start. Okay. That was weird. Okay. So for some reason I can't play I have to switch controllers now because for some reason it won't let me move the way I should be able to. Yes, thank you for reminding me of technical difficulties. Let's try this again. It's like, I knew I could play this game at one point. Ow. Ow. I don't know why I said ow. That didn't even hit me.
Because when your games fall over, it's like you've got a telepathically.
Yeah, I'm like I'm psychically connected to all my hardware. If a game falls, we all fall. Alright, let's see if it likes this controller. Okay, that's better. I gotta get used to how much faster I move in this. Whoa. So there seems to be some sort of delay between what I'm controlling and what's happening even on my screen. That's interesting. I wonder if it likes this game. At least the Elgato anyway. Okay, 5 possibly left. The audio seems kind of low. Are you guys able to hear it still? Oh. Weird. It's got to be the system. I'll try to fix it in a moment. Wait, why is the... That's weird. The exit shouldn't be open if I don't have all the prisoners. Just trying to find a better gun. You definitely want them in the boss battles, that's for sure. That'll work. Okay. Any difference there? Oh, shoot. Great. Normal weapon. Yeah, it's this AV setup. I don't think the configuration is wired that well for it. Does it sound better on the left or the right channel, or does it not make a difference? Oh, isn't it? Oh, great. Yeah, this is one of the games that when it comes to the American version versus the Japanese version, I think this one sounds a lot better. If you want to listen to what the Japanese and actually the PAL system sounds like, just look up Alien Syndrome Mark III, and you should be able to find the soundtrack with that sound chip. I know that a few YouTube channels actually list both the North American and the Mark III releases, so you should be able to find them for a sound comparison. This is a game I think sounds a lot better on the US port though, and specifically that boss theme sounds a lot better in this one. And another soundtrack I'm going to throw out there that sounds amazing is actually the Fester's Quest theme on NES. I like that game as a fan of the Addams Family and just because I like that game in general, but the soundtrack is so cool, especially the boss theme. I've actually heard metal renditions of it, and I had to download those to my MP3 player because it's so cool what they've done with it. Not only just the guitars, but the drum beats, everything. Two hostages. Whoa, that was a bad idea. Totally, man. I look forward to that. I'm also hoping that Vince will be able to attend Game On next year and Retropalooza this year, too. Oh, that wasn't fair, spawning right on top of the prisoner. Oh. I think that's one of the advantages that aliens have in this game. The flicker definitely works in their favor. That guy spawned right underneath me and I had no way of seeing that in time. Whoa. I sometimes wonder, since we're kind of talking about that subject, I sometimes wonder if fame really does that, if that really motivates a person to do what they do, or if they just are listening to the wrong people. I know they say money can change a person, but I always look at it as if you have a stronger sense of independence and just being able to think for yourself, I don't see why anybody would do anything to hurt their careers. But I've seen that happen in the workplace, so who's to say, really? Oh, that didn't work to my advantage. I'm trying to think of the word that I want to use. I want to say willpower, but that might not be accurate enough either. I'm looking at it on the grounds that, like, if you have assertiveness, that's the one. Like, if you have a certain assertiveness that you won't let things like that or let people, dictate how you do things or how you're going to live your life. And I'm not saying that a person's bad if they don't have a strong enough willpower or, they succumb to such things like that. I'm not saying that they're bad people. It's just unfortunate sometimes because I've seen people struggle with addictions and people who can't really make decisions for themselves, and it's kind of unfortunate. And like we were talking about in John's stream earlier, some of us who have deeper struggles when it comes to our children and our pasts and things like that. Like, it's unfortunate. It really is. The amount of escapism that some people really look for. I mean, if you do something just because, you can, I mean, that's fine. If that's what you want to, spend your time in your life doing. But if you are in a position where you have it in you to enact a change of some kind or do something on a much positive level, I would think you'd want to do that, It's like when people tell me at work, like, oh, well, if you ever won the lottery, would you quit working? And I'm like, no, I would still work. I'd still want to make, a decent living. I probably wouldn't work as much so that I could spend more time with my son. But I wouldn't let winning the lottery, dictate how I live and who I am, I'd rather put a lot of that effort into taking care of the people that I care about and doing things for them rather than say, oh, well, I went out and bought like a 3-story house or a $50,000 car that I probably won't fit in properly. But because it's a luxury item, it's a status symbol, I'm not about that. I'd want to make sure that all my financial woes were in order first before I started, treating myself or anything like that. Otherwise, I'd have like complete gaming collections and stuff of that nature, Oh, he shot me right in the face. Yeah, and see, that sometimes can be the case too. They could just be losing all focus or think that because of who they are and what their status symbol is. I mean, It happens. Some people think that who they are just really allows them to get away with stuff, and that's not the case. Everybody has rules and regulations that they have to follow. It really doesn't matter who you are. I mean, heck, I have bosses that kind of treat me like that, and the reality of it is, you know, they can tell you what to do till they're blue in the face, but outside of being in this building, their position means nothing to anybody, really. And it makes me wonder just why some people do that. It's very unfortunate. The way I look at it, if I was a celebrity of any kind, you know, I'd want to make a living for me and my loved ones, you know, as best as possible. And in the meantime, you know, just try to do something that benefits more than just us. You know? I used to tell people, going back to the whole lottery thing, once I took care of all my finances and everything like that, I probably would have like this little Godfather type deal where people could come to me and tell me, you know, they could use a little financial help on, like, let's say a college loan or a house payment or something like that. I probably would do that for complete strangers. You know, I'm a realist. I know what it's like to have to struggle, you know, financially and socially and all kinds of, you know, scenarios. And the only thing that I've realized in dealing with a lot of that stuff is the most important thing a person can have is just somebody who's willing to listen. And that actually goes a long, long way. And part of the reason why I started the whole Keep the Gamer Faith movement, gamers supporting gamers, you know, gamers helping gamers movement, is because I want people to know that whether they're having trouble collecting or if they have any questions about preservation or anything like that, that me and anyone who choose to kind of live by those messages, that we're all here to help each other, you know. Push Pillows, for example, has been trying to get back into the collecting scene, and every so often he'll message me and he'll say, well, what do you think about this deal? Is this a good deal? Is this worth getting? Should I try to talk someone down? You know, I try to respond to questions like that as fast as I can, but where I work, because we deal with confidential information, we're not allowed to really have our phones out. But when I can, I'm eagerly messaging people back saying, well, here's what I would do, here's what a suggested value of this is, here's what I would try to negotiate, that sort of stuff, you know? Because I'm sure you've heard some people mention in the various streams that we watch where they say like, oh, well, game hunting out here is very slim, there really isn't much, or things like that. And when I started doing my pickup videos, I never realized just how much different it is in my area to collect than, say, for somebody. I know somebody in J-Stream mentioned that they live in Alaska and they have like maybe one store that deals with retro games, and they're, you know, it's like online pricing, and they can use that to their advantage because they're the only place out there that sells retro. So I make an effort to sit there and tell them, well, hey, if you're on Twitter, message me if you have questions, if there's something you're looking for. Because if I can find it routinely in my area, I'll definitely do what I can to help you out with that. And if we can't find it, or at least in a condition that we agree with, the least thing I can do is try to help restore it. And that's where the gaming restoration stuff came in, because I realized that even if a game is in shoddy condition when you buy it doesn't necessarily mean it has to look that way. Exactly, John. That's exactly how I am. You know, money can only take care of so many different things, and your wealth really won't matter if you don't have people to share that with, or organizations or charities to help them out with. You won't actually find the true value of it unless you look outside yourself and are willing to do some very humanistic things with it. I'm not saying that if you were to strike it rich, you have to immediately donate everything to like a church or something, but I've always been a firm believer in spreading the wealth, and that's very odd for me to say because I grew up poor, believe it or not. I never realized just how poor my family was. And so a bit of personal information on me and my life and how it pertains to retro collecting. A lot of what I own are childhood copies. My systems, my games. I learned at a young age how to preserve stuff. Could I have been better? Absolutely. I have some games that I wish I still had their boxes and manuals for, but I can find those in the wild. It's maintaining the original cartridges that I had for so long that has always meant a lot to me. Even this game that I'm playing right now, I've had since I was a kid, and it means a lot to me because of that. The fact that it survived 20 plus years and still works and still looks good, like that's the kind of thing that means a lot to me. So as it pertains to retro collecting or anything else for that matter, because I've been trying to stretch the keep the gamer faith to include all aspects of collecting. My personal goal is to help everybody, you know, find what they're looking for and just rekindle those good memories, rekindle all the good thoughts and emotions that came with it. Sorry, I'm not trying to be long-winded, but I just want you guys to know, everybody who's watching, that's why I'm so passionate about streaming, my restorations, and supporting everybody with their gamer pickups, with movie pickups, anything they're looking for, really. I feel the more that we support each other in those ways, we actually can bring back a missing component to collecting and preservation. And what I try to do with my streams is, you know, I mostly stream retro. I do plan on streaming next gen stuff, but my focus has always been retro because that's what I grew up with. That's what I'm the most passionate about. And I want to help people rediscover those good times or make new ones, especially if you've never even seen or heard of a game that I'm playing. I can look at every game on my shelf and remember when I got it and just the amount of enthusiasm and happiness that came with every game I got, every system I got. So if what I do does that for me, I would hope that it does that for everybody who watches, who comments, everything. Because I love hearing feedback from you guys. I love it when you guys share. Oh, I thought I could outrun him. I love hearing all that from you guys. You know, I have nothing against Pat, really. I met him at Game On 2 years ago. He was preoccupied at his table, but I met him and Ian and I really talked for a long time. Pat was busy with a lot of his fans that were there, so he was more engaged with them, but I have nothing really against him. I know he's gotten a lot of flack for his views on his podcast, but I've never really... I can't really say that Either I'm bothered by what he says, or I care too much about what he says to let it affect my life and my views on games, you know? It's like I said on one of Smash JT's videos, he's one man, he has one opinion. There are dozens out there, whether I agree with them or not. I mean, in the end, it's my opinion. It's what I think and believe what works for me. So I really have nothing, I have no ill will towards him. And when we did get to talk to each other, we got to share a little bit of insight on what we both know about the NES. So that was actually kind of cool. Yeah, see, and that's the kind of stuff I love hearing about, John, because I always like to see why certain pieces, whether they're video games, toys, movies, books, what have you, why they mean a lot to people. Because most of the time, you won't get a financial amount attached to it. You'll hear things like, well, this was given to me by my grandmother before she passed away, or this was the first console we ever got. Those are the things I really like to hear, not, oh, well, this is my favorite game because it's worth thousands of dollars. Okay, that's cool, but do you have any other attachment to it besides a dollar amount? And if they don't, it is kind of disappointing for me, and maybe it's just because I'm sappy like that, but I just like to hear when you guys all have different attachments for whatever the reasons are. I just find that kind of fascinating. And when I talked to John Hancock this year, I asked him about how I could get involved in either his gaming museum or the Game Historian Foundation, because I'm really into preserving our past technology and also being able to just discuss it. Oh yeah, totally. I love listening to the CU podcast. I would be a regular Patreon for them if I could, but there's so many channels out there that I want to support. I'd have to find a way to budget that so that way everybody can get some kind of backing from me in a way. I may not be able to get like the highest tiers with channels that have Patreons, but I'd love to be able to support all the ones that I like. Hey, what's up, Vince? Bash Brothers 2019, man, welcome. Playing some Alien Syndrome here on the Sega Master System. Earlier, I played the NES version because that's what my poll on Twitter voted for. So now I'm just showing off the Master System port just to do a little comparison and show what the differences are. Still a fun little game, but each port has its, pluses and minuses. How you holding up today, Ben? I appreciate the support you gave me, by the way, regarding that Transformer I picked up. It's still crazy how much I had to pay for that thing, but you know what? It's the closest I'm going to get to a G1 right now, so I'm totally content with it. Although I told friends and relatives, if you guys happen to be at a Walmart and these are clearance, please let me know. And pick up some multiple ones if you can. That way I can take mine back and get more for the price. So we'll see. Oh, thanks, Vince. You didn't have to do that. Gladly appreciated, though. And once again, my alert did not go off for some reason. So I'm gonna go back and play the noise.
Stars.
There we go. At one point I had this all figured out, and now I don't know why it's not working well. Oh, no problem, John. You have a good night. Thanks again for being in here. Guys, once more, if you guys haven't checked out Intrigue Gaming's channel, be sure to show him some love and some gamer support. Check out his channel, like, share, subscribe. He's got some amazing content, and do try to catch one of his streams when you can, because they're always a blast to be a part of. And I'll throw another shout out for your channel in my description too, John. You have a good one. Alright, I'm going to go back to this. Cliff, at this point, I'm going to see if I can get further, but what I'd like to do is, since you guys donated, I'll let you guys pick a game or games for me to play, so long as I have them, and you know, we can check those out a little bit. He says, of course you can call me Vinny. Such a tough guy name. Oh, man, I got roasted. Not a good place to be. Oh, I hate the short range of my gun. Oh, bummer. Alright, you have a good one, John. Yeah, it does. But you can tell like the subtle differences when it comes to the animations and the movements. You'll notice how when I fight the Master System version, he doesn't come apart like he does in the NES one, and that's actually closer to the arcade port than the Master System version is. So Cliff, if you want to pick a game, I have NES, SNES, and Master System ready to go. So if you want to go ahead and shout out a title, hopefully I have it, I'll go ahead and play it for you. Yeah, the sound will do that when it's in the attract mode like this. I'm actually not playing this game right now. Oh, I wish I had that. I do have it for Game Boy, though. I could hook up the Super Game Boy and play the Game Boy version if you want to see that. I know, it's kind of tough. I wish I had the EverDrives that Jay does. Um, hmm. What's another favorite game of yours? Super C, I can do that. Just give me one quick wardrobe change here. Let's get this going. I think the audio video setup for the NES is a lot better, a lot different too. Yeah, I can definitely hear an audio quality difference when it comes to that. I may try to find some better AV cables for the Master System to see if I can get both channels out at the same time. Oh, awesome. Alright, here we go. I don't know if you saw on Cinemaster's channel lately, but I saw the gun mode that Mike Matei and James Rolfe attempted, where you try to get as far as you can without shooting anything. I thought about attempting that myself. I don't know if that particular challenge pertains to bosses, but I would love to try that. I think that capsule that flew by was actually the spread gun. Love the soundtrack to this game too. It's so awesome. Yeah, see, that's what I don't understand. I don't know if you actually can fight the bosses, like they're the only ones you can shoot, or you're supposed to see if you can get to the end of the level just by not shooting anything, and then once you reach the boss, that's it. I have to go back and look at the video and see what the rules kind of are, because it looked interesting to me. Were you a fan of these top-down levels by any chance, Cliff? Because I remember when Super C came out, and this type of level was kind of a thorn in some people's sides that I knew. I guess they preferred the behind the shoulder look that the base levels in the first Contra had. I didn't mind these exactly. I thought these were actually kind of cool. Thumbs hurt. I kind of want to switch controllers because I think my thumb pad isn't working well. Oh yeah, the top down in Super C. Whoa, I gotta keep it lower. Just check something real quick. Ooh, perfect. One of the streamers that I watch who's in the UK is actually streaming right now. So I want to see if we can actually raid his stream. Let me grab a link real quick. No, I haven't. I'm gonna try to keep it that way. Okay, this is a link to a channel that I'm subscribed to. He goes by the name of Runny Egg Eye, and he's in the UK. Really nice guy. He streams Link's Awakening and a bunch of other really cool games. Let's do a quick raid, and let's use this hashtag. I'll go ahead and go first, that way he knows that I'm the one doing it. Let's make it let's use Zombie Horde Raid. There we go. Let's do that. Awesome. All right. Oh, it's okay, Cliff. It was still fun for us to go in there. Anytime that Runny Egg Guy is streaming, I always try to catch his streams, whether I'm streaming or not, so it's cool. I'm glad you participated. And you can be sure that I will give you some kind of acknowledgement for that in the description when I'm done. Alright, let's get back to it. Oh, see? There we go. I forgot the delay that turret is on. Huh. Interesting. Okay, what is going on with... There we go. Yeah, he's an awesome guy. I've actually talked to him outside of the streams. We actually are on each other's Twitters, and anytime that I can, I always try to give him a shout out when he streams, and vice versa. Yep, sure do. I love how they can maneuver in the lakes too. They're just like, nope, I don't have a problem at all. I'll just walk on water. Which, by the way, is a very awesome Ozzy Osbourne song. That baseline. Oh, that was bogus. I forgot. I'm supposed to jump on him. Come on. There we go. Another chance to get the spread done. I missed it. Ooh. Of course, he doesn't drop a weapon when I want him to. Boss time. Looked at the wrong one. I keep looking at the wrong thing moving. Darn it. That was terrible. Jumped right into this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start that one over. Yeah, I like how they improved a lot of the bosses and a lot of the characters in this sequel. A lot of times they really don't do anything that impressive, but Contra was always a series that I don't want to say they never did wrong, because there are some games that I kind of just shook my head at, but these two games are just, man, they blew my mind away when I first played them. And it's, again, like Alien Syndrome, it was one of those things that it was cool to play the arcade version, and then to be able to have a home port was really, really awesome. And it's not that drastically different from the arcade either. Whoa. And even if you compare this to the Famicom versions, there's not that much difference with them. Okay, I don't know how he dodged any of that. There we go. You came out of nowhere, didn't you? I have to admit that the Contra series is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to join the military. That and movies like Predator and Aliens, because I just, as a kid, I was that impressionable. I just thought it'd be cool to join the military and maybe hope to encounter something like that. But I'm also just, like I said, I'm that impressionable. As a kid, I used to love watching action and sci-fi movies and acting and imitating them. Yeah, I'm actually subscribed to Sean's channel. I have a hard time keeping up with it though because he always just puts out so many videos and I find myself like being swamped at times, like, oh my gosh, I need to catch up. But yeah, I like I've been a subscriber to his channel for a while. I think what drew me to his channel was not only just the amount of information he puts in his videos, but he's just really, like, he has that high level energy that I wish I either had or could emulate, where, like, when he's passionate about something, where he's passionate about talking about something, you can tell because of the way that he just projects it. I can go on and on about how I'm passionate about something, but I don't have that same level of excitement that he does, and at times I felt like maybe if I did, my pickup videos or anything like that might be a bit more of interest, but you know, I'm not too concerned about that. Some people have that, some people don't. I think I'm too laid back for it too, honestly. Like, I remember the first time I saw one of his videos from a while ago, I was like, man, this guy's like amped, totally. But at the same time, I loved it because it was just like a whole other level of excitement. It's kind of what, it reminds me a lot of what Push Pillow said in one of my streams once, where he talked about how whenever I go on about a particular game or system or a history about something, that he can tell I have a knowledge base for it, but I also have like a true passion for it, like an enthusiasm. And it's, yeah, I'm not as high energy as some people are, and in some cases I'd like to be, but if you guys can still get a sense of that from either my streams or my pickup videos or anything, I'm real appreciative of that, because I want to be able to convey a lot of that. I want to be able to talk about things of that nature in any event. I'm just very passionate about video game and collecting and all that. I just don't have that high energy level. I think I'd have to have like maybe 6 Red Bulls before I could do that. I haven't had the chance to do that actually. Usually at Game On, and that's not to say this is bad or anything, usually everybody just kind of hangs out with their own cliques, so to speak. I'm always open to it. I always look forward for a chance for, you know, for them to say like, hey, Zombie, we're gonna go to this bar, you know, you wanna go with us? Like, I look forward to that, but I don't expect it either, you know, if that makes sense. But this year at Game On, I actually got to hang out with Joel from Media Glitch and John Hancock. Let's see. Like I was saying earlier, I didn't know that John from Intrigue Gaming was there. I didn't recognize him at first. But he was at the same dinner as we were, so I got to meet him, not personally, but I knew he was there, kind of deal. Hung out with him, Saramaru. The Metal Jesus crew went to a different restaurant than we did, but I got to meet all of them. Usually I try to hook Reggie up with a complete in-box game that he doesn't have, and this year I gave him, I think it was Aladdin. But I usually hang out with, like, Nerdy Nick when he's not busy, John Riggs when he's not busy. I do get to talk to Gamester81 from time to time when he's not busy. It all just depends, you know? Yeah, Joel really is. He's very humble, too. He's just a real chill guy. I'm really glad I got the chance to meet him in person. And I think probably the biggest... Yeah, I agree. You don't really want to do that, and I know that that's one of the worries that I have, because I don't want to feel like, oh, you cheap shooting bubble machine. I don't want to feel like, oh, well, because I'm in Jay's stream as a mod, that gives me some kind of entitlement. I don't want to feel like, well, I've known you for a while, you know, you should be inviting me to these kinds of things. I don't want to do that. I don't want to impose, you know. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, you know, no big whoop. I always at least just make an effort to meet the YouTubers that I want to, and that's good enough. But when we all got to go to dinner with John Hancock and Joel and all of them, like, yeah, that was cool, because all we kept doing was talking video games, and, you know, like our likes and dislikes, what do we consider flops, that kind of stuff. Okay. Guy totally didn't die for some reason. Yeah, he is. He totally is. In fact, when we were all chit-chatting, I was actually really nervous to meet him, just like I was everybody else that I hadn't met yet. Even meeting Jay already and the Chasers crew, I'm still always kind of nervous around them when they're there. Meeting John and him actually, like, wanting to know what I scored at the convention, and then talking about how we both have a love for the 5200 and the Master System, like, that was just really cool to know that. And I remember when I told him that there was a table selling Master System games that I wanted, he was all passionate about getting them, and he's like, you know, if you do, let me see them. I'd like to know what you pick up. And then we started talking about that, of course, and just comparing notes, you know. My collection is nowhere near his, but, you know, maybe someday it might, and I look forward to that. Oh, I don't know why that jump was delayed. I totally shot that. Yeah, exactly. Jay's very unique in that it almost seems like there's a different persona with him when you meet him in person versus when you talk to him in the stream. And that may or may not be accurate, but he's always been chill with me every time that I go to their table. Unfortunately, Billy wasn't there this year. How's he stupid knockback? And, you know, for personal reasons, obviously. So I was kind of bummed that he couldn't make it, but that's not to say I didn't have fun hanging out with Jay and Eric. And I got to talk to Pete again, and I asked him to sign some of my memorabilia. And then I got to meet Boogie for the first time and talk to him about how he's doing, his health, and all of that. It was just a different crowd. Italian Gamer was there again, and I got to talk to him. I didn't realize that his channel had changed, so when I didn't see his usual YouTube handle, I thought that either he took down his channel or he just wasn't doing it anymore. Come to find out, it's just under a different name, and I was like, that's weird because it didn't show I was still subscribed. But he's cool too. He's a nice dude to talk to. I heard that he can be at times, but he wasn't when I met him. And what I appreciate is the fact that when I hang out in his streams, he actually remembers my name. Like, that's a big like plus for me, I guess, because everybody knows me by Zombie, but you know, I introduce myself as, you know, hey, my name's Jesse, but you guys know me as Zombie, and you know, I'm fine with being called either one, honestly. But Billy is actually one of the few people that call me by my real name as opposed to my YouTube handle. So I thought that was kind of cool. I know that when I met him 2 years ago, he was very talkative with me. Like, we were talking Gremlins and, you know, what he plans to do with the show and all that kind of stuff. And then when I pranked Eric, I just remember how funny he thought it was when I'm sitting there going, you know, okay, you know, that was just a prank to, you know, show that, you know, I had the nuts too to do what you're telling me I don't have the nuts to do. And you know, I just kind of dropped it on Eric, like, so what made you think I was female? And I just remember Billy laughing his ass off at that, and he busted his phone back out and started recording that whole thing. Yeah, and I feel like he gets a lot of unnecessary flack for the whole Robotica thing, because I honestly like his music. I don't think it's bad at all, really. In fact, I've actually talked to him about making more of a metal-sounding album, because he and I both like Typo Negative, and oh, it wasn't in an episode, it was actually on Billy's channel when I did the whole licking Eric's nipple thing. Yeah, that was on his channel. And even in the comments too, they're like, oh, look at that ugly transgender person, or, you know, leave it to some ugly woman to say they're not a dude kind of comments. Like, that shit doesn't really bother me, you know? But it's just one of the things that I often warn people about, because I'd hate for anybody to be embarrassed or frustrated on my part. And so when I was talking to Eric, you know, I didn't do what I did to troll him. I just was like, what gave you the impression I was female, just out of curiosity? You know, just to kind of like give him that eye-opener. because I'm sure you've heard me mention before that it happens quite a bit. People tend to, you know, misgender me, and most of the time I don't even notice or care really. But when it comes to people that I want them to know, especially, you know, the game chasers, so that way they don't end up doing the same thing that other people do. You know, it's more for their sake than it is mine. Lousy boulder. But what's funny is when we were all in Billy and Chris's stream, I think last week or so, Chris was like, "What up, zombie?" and gave me the usual shout out. And Billy had said something, I forgot what, and Chris was like, "Yeah, zombie's one of my longest and, you know, best mods." And Billy's like, "Oh yeah, Jessie's awesome. Jessie's totally awesome. She's one of the coolest people I know." And I was like, "Oh, Billy, man, did you forget?" But again, it's all in good fun, you know. I just like to give them crap from time to time because they just tend to forget more. I jumped right into that. Yeah, it was either last week or the week before. He was streaming late, and so was Chris. Chris was actually over at his place when they were streaming. And it was such a chat rush because everybody was in there. There must have been at least maybe 200 or so people in there. And yeah, it was just going crazy. Like, the only other time I've ever seen chat move that fast is when I'm moderating for one of Wood's streams. Let's see, hopefully no stupid boulder's gonna take me out like that again. There we go, that's where I made my mistake. I forgot to shift the screen up before I jumped over. Yeah, it was on the Game Chasers channel. Ah, thanks, man. At the risk of sounding vain, I'm usually a lot better at it, though. I think it just has to do with the fact that I'm up late right now, but don't feel like me streaming and being up late is a bother. It's not. I've realized that because of my work schedule, I usually will have to stream late, or if I'm lucky enough, I can stream early in the morning. I try my best not to overstep anybody else's toes because I want to be able to stream and not feel like there's any competition or added pressure. Yeah, it's a little disappointing that not many people are engaging in the conversation right now, but you know what? Even if it was just me streaming, I'd have no problem just, you know, talking and sharing my thoughts and memories on games like this. I could go on for a long time just doing that, so. But I appreciate the concern, man, and the interest. Even just talking with you has been a blast. So if people want to continue lurking, that's up to them, you know. the other night when I streamed... Oh! Lost to the mouth vagina. The other night when I was streaming Monster Party, for example, that's probably the most engaged that the chat's ever been. We had so many people coming in and out of the stream that night, and we had John from Intrigue Gaming there, we had J-Love. It was really cool just to have them in there and kind of talk to us about the games. Push Pillows is really enthusiastic. I love his energy too and his positivity. So anytime that he can chime in with a game or just, you know, some sort of tidbit, I always love talking to him and sharing stuff. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. That seems to be a theme tonight. Mouth vagina. Or a floor vagina, I should say. We were talking about that when we were playing the NES version of Alien Syndrome. Oh, I was too worried about the little crab guys. And here comes that giant phallic boss. Wait, what? Oh, I was gonna say, I knew there was a second part. Ugh. Oh, that's right, there's only one continue this time around. Yeah, it totally is. I've done runs where I'm not allowed to pick up specific weapons, if anything, maybe rapid fire at the most, but yeah, having those types of little challenges definitely make you a better player, in my opinion, because you try to rely on your perception and your speed rather than a weapon. And in that case, yeah, you definitely want to keep the spread gun if you can, because those guys are relentless. I love how he's trapped there. Alright, I still got some time, so I'll leave this up to you. If you want, I can try to run Super C again, or if you want me to play something else, go for it. I did. It was a game that I wish that I had played on the PC first, or the Mac. I'm trying to remember what it came out for, because when I actually played it on NES, I had no clue what was going on. I got the hang of it eventually, but I wish that I had had more of a chance to play the original version first, because an NES port of it isn't that far off from the original, but obviously you're going to notice some subtle differences. And I know Dodongo really likes that game too. If he didn't have it already, I probably would try to get him a copy. In fact, I need to get a copy of it for myself because I don't own it. Yep, sure did. I regret not keeping my copy because it's a game that I'm having trouble finding in the wild nowadays, and I had mine for a very long time as a kid, and I think I sold it because I wanted to get a different game, and back then Princess Tomato was pretty common. Yeah, it does, and I know Jay kind of keeps personal concerns out of the stream, and usually he'll say, you know, it has a lot to do with his availability and him just saying, hey, I want to hang out with you guys. So, you know, whatever their setup and their situation is, I know it can be tough trying to get everybody together. And Chris has been very vocal on that lately too. Like, he wishes he didn't live so far away from everybody. I think that Princess Tomato was one of those kind of oddball games where I guess if you didn't appreciate it then, you probably would or wouldn't appreciate it until later. I wasn't the biggest RPG fan growing up, but I liked it because it was unique. It was different among like Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy and all those that I played. Oh, no problem, Cliff. I'm glad you stayed as long as you did and you enjoyed the stream. I promise next time I run Super C, I'll try to be a lot better at it too. Because I know personally I can be a lot better. But again, thanks for stopping in and thanks for the donation. If you want, next time I stream and you happen to be in here, I'll let you pick another game too. You're welcome, man. Have a good night. All right. You know what? Since why don't we give tribute to the original? Alright, so we've played both versions of Alien Syndrome. We just played Super C at Cliff's request, so why don't we move backwards and play the original Contra. this is where it all began for me. Like I was saying earlier, I had the pleasure of playing the Contra arcade machine back in the day, and being able to have it on a home console was really, really cool. In fact, it was my uncle who had to remind me of what this game actually was and what the arcade was. I don't know how many of you guys grew up playing Contra back in the day, but this is still one of my childhood favorites, and definitely deserves a spot on my top 10 list for sure. Love this stage music. I'm such a fan of this series, even to this day, that if we actually were to get that Contra movie that I feel we should have had back in the 80s with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, I would go pay to see that. I forgot when exactly I came across some fans' Photoshop of the game box art that had both their pictures on it. But I looked at that and I said, you know what? Hollywood needs to make this happen some way. I just thought it was a really cool idea. Because if you look at the cover of the original box art, tell me that Bill Reiser and Lance Bean weren't inspired by Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the way I look at it, even if they were to get Sly and Arnold in the film, like, I get it, their age and everything, but that don't really mean anything. Even if they weren't the same action heroes that we remember back in the day, they could still be in a Contra movie, still be those characters, and maybe their characters are like the ones in charge of the whole operation, and maybe what their job is, either lead a new bunch of troops, or what if they were retired soldiers and they have to go get this platoon that went looking in the jungle for this supposed threat. I think that'd be a cool idea too. Just a thought, you know. If Hollywood's real big on making remakes and what have you, I don't see why they couldn't do that. Imagine if what took place in the games actually happened story-wise, and they're like retired soldiers, and the military clearly doesn't have the manpower or the experience needed to either investigate what's going on or to rescue a group of soldiers that went missing or something of that nature. You know, usually in the 80s, action heroes were always about trying to save and rescue somebody, so, I mean, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to those types of times. Like, who's to say that even as retired soldiers, they didn't have anybody to rescue, you know? Oh! It's such an awesome game, isn't it, Illumi? Oh, that was... I had no way of avoiding that. That stunk. What? Didn't even hit me. Yeah, I played Contra a lot as a kid. My uncle and I used to play this all the time when he'd be home from school. Because my uncle isn't exactly that much older than I am. So whenever he would finish school, we would play games like this, or something on the Master System that was two-player, like Double Dragon. But Contra was always one of our favorites. Part. Right? Isn't that cool? Because when they play next generation games and consoles, you know, even my relatives have done that too, where they're like, "Oh, this game is so tough," and I'm like, "Oh, I can show you a game that's way tougher than that," and pull out, you know, Contra, or, you know, like you said, a Mega Man game, or just any of those growing up, and just cheap shot. Just showing them that and then blowing their minds away, like, how did you ever play this game, let alone how did you ever beat this game? And it's like practice. That's what we used to do back in the day. Be quite the interesting challenge, considering how slow the laser is. I think Contra is one of the games that I felt vindicated me as a gamer, because of the fact that my uncle and I were the big game players in my house, and anything that he could do, I wanted to prove I could do too. And he was really good at video games, and I wanted to learn how to play them and get better at them too. And one of the games I remember he and his friends always having trouble with was Contra. hate the timing of that jump versus trying to get the spread gun. Whoever put that in the programming definitely was trolling. Oh, that's cool. Rambo definitely has a good soundtrack. I'll give it that. I think it could have been a better game in my opinion, but it's not horrible. You know, if you give it a fair share and a fair try, and you know, just accept it for what it was, being based loosely on the, I believe it's First Blood Part 2 movie, it's really not that bad. Oh, that was a little. But if I have my first pick of Rambo games, the one on Master System will probably be my top pick, just because I grew up with that one too. Wow, that thing bomb rushed me. I grew up with that version first, and then I got the NES port, and I think that game could have been what Akari Warriors. I think that game was what Akari Warriors should have been, in my opinion. Because Rambo on Master System has a similar playstyle as Akari Warriors. It's just not as clunky, and it's not as slow either. Oh. Back to that, are we? I usually try to kill all of the eggs before I take on the Falcon Heart. And I still need to go see the new Rambo movie. Sorry about that, just answering the message here. Oh, the new Rambo movie? Yeah, I've gotten mixed messages on that one as well. I mean, it's it's a Sylvester Stallone action movie. I don't really have any expectations, honestly. But from what I was told, yeah, it kind of takes it back to the whole 80s action movie vibe. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I was trying to do this no death run, and unfortunately after I lost that first life, I pretty much, I kind of just left that there and just tried to keep going. I usually try to either match the scores from before or just try to do a run without dying, or certain little challenges like that. When I recorded my last Contra run on Twitter, I almost had a no death run again, and it got ruined when I missed the last jump at the very end of the level on level 8. But I'm still proud of it. It just serves as a reminder of what I need to go back to and kind of practice a bit more. Yeah. And the one thing that kind of bummed me out about the new Rambo movie is everybody kept saying, at least reviewers were, that it was promoting toxic masculinity, and I just, hearing that just kind of irked me, because I'm sitting here going, do these reviewers expect the Rambo movie to be Academy Award winning? Do they not know who Rambo is? Do they not remember action movies of the 80s? Because if they do, then why is any of this a surprise to them, It's like action movies back in the day, nobody really cared about it. Nobody really viewed it that way. You went to see, action stars. You went to see explosions and that kind of stuff. It's really weird how divided the movie scene has become with films like that. Really weird. But, I can't fault them for having their opinion. They're entitled to it. And it's not going to dictate how I enjoy a movie. Put this game away. Alright. There we go. Alright, it's about 3:18 my time here. We've got about 6 people in the stream, 13 likes, not bad. Numbers keep getting bigger and bigger, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, that's awesome to me. I'm glad each time that the numbers get bigger and bigger. Let me just grab one more game, and I think I'll call it a night after that. Let's see. trying to keep it within the same theme as everything tonight. Let's see if there's anything I can. Ooh, excuse me. Let's see if I can find something really quick. I can't play this game with a serious face anymore ever since the AVGN episode about this game, because he pointed out so many hilarious things about it, and I can always hear his jokes when I play this game, because I definitely agree with him about just how bad bringing this port over was, especially when so many games prior to it had had done it so well. I mean, you had Contra that he was constantly comparing it to, and then there were other games like Gunsmoke and oh my gosh. There we go. And I actually remember playing Ikari Warriors with the rotary joysticks. So yeah, it definitely has that vibe. And the biggest disappointment was just how bad this port was. I couldn't believe that somebody actually gave this game a seal of approval, honestly. I mean, everything about it is just really off. The controls are off. The targeting is off. The hit detection is off. Just everything. It's pretty disappointing because it was a really good arcade game. But compared to Commando, Commando is way better. But I have to say that if we're gonna throw Gunsmoke in there, Gunsmoke's better. Okay. Alrighty. I think when I decide to stream Rambo on Sega Master System, I'll compare it to this game to show just how similar they are, but then also how flawed this game really is. Alright, let's go ahead and give it one more try. I don't know if any of you out there play the King of Fighters series, but when SNK decided to pay tribute to the Ikari Warriors and actually put Paul and Vince in a King of Fighters game, I thought that was kind of cool. gosh, these controls are so bad. Look at how slow he is. It's like they were trying to emulate the rotary controllers and they did it horribly. They should have just left that alone, honestly. You know, just left it where it was because it couldn't be emulated well. At least that's what I think. I don't feel like this port really lived up to the arcade version. And especially seeing so many arcade games were ported over successfully, I was really shocked this one didn't turn out as well. Can't even escape the tank on time. And I got caught in the blast radius. Okay, there's mines. Oh, my pleasure, man. You have a good one, man. Be sure to catch us next time, too. I love it when you guys are in here. Alright guys, it's about 3:30 my time. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream. I'm going to get up early tomorrow and hopefully film another pickups video. And I plan on filming my first episode of Gaming Beautician, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And I'll be posting updates on my Twitter, and of course if you are subscribed to my channel, be sure to hit the notification bell so that way you can see updates as well. And be sure to like, comment, share, because I love reading your guys' comments. I take the time to read all those and reply as well. So I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Thank you all thank you for all of those who donated. Vince, if you're still in the stream, next time I'll let you go ahead and pick a game for your donation. And yeah, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream. So this is Zombie JLT1, Supernatural Gamer, host of 31 Games of Halloween, signing off. You all have a good day.